Since the 1950s, international tourist arrivals have increased tremendously, from 25 million globally to 527 million in 1995 and 1.2 billion in 2016. The number is expected to reach 1.8 billion by 2030 and to double by 2050. This dramatic growth in tourism is why the development of sustainable tourism has become part of the global agenda related to the Sustainable Development Goals, the so-called SDGs. Let us take a closer look at the travel flows and tourist distribution. A tourist is defined as a person entering another country for at least 24 hours. About 80% of all international travel is leisure tourism, and 20% is business tourism. Tourism is unevenly distributed around the world, and 97% of the world's population will never fly. This means that just a very small share of humanity is actually part of the statistics, and often, it's the same people traveling again and again. According to the World Tourist Organization, 50% of all international arrivals are within Europe. Africa, in comparison, only receive 5% of all international tourist arrivals. Another important region, Southeast Asia, with 25%, the Americas with 16% of international arrivals. The most important tourism flows are between industrialized countries, including North America, Europe, Japan, and Australia. In Europe, most tourism is directed towards the Mediterranean, and there are major flows from North America to the Caribbean. The growing number of people traveling by air each year contributes to the world economy, but also poses the growing impact and challenge to the environment, including those related to greenhouse gas emissions. According to the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, aviation produces around 2% of the world's man-made emissions of carbon dioxide, a number equivalent to the total emissions of Germany, which has a population of approximately 18 million. In the European Union alone, greenhouse gas emissions from aviation increased by 87% between 1990 and 2006. While aviation is often associated with growing greenhouse gas emissions, especially as passenger numbers are rising and people travel longer distances, less focus has been on its massive generation of waste. Looking at the figures from the International Air Transport Association, it is estimated for 2016 that airline passengers during transport generate 5.2 million tons of waste, a figure expected to double by 2030. Where's all the waste going? Most often to landfills or incineration. As tourist increases in low-income countries, more and more of this waste is also ending up in uncontrolled dump sites, as the capacity to manage waste there is insufficient. Examples of such destinations are small island states like the Seychelles, Mauritius, Aruba, the Maldives, and Zanzibar. In one instance, tourist arrivals have increased five-fold in just 20 years. The popular tourist destinations will benefit from tourism's positive outcomes, but also risk being hit by the sector's negative side effects, including damage to the environmental health. Therefore, there is a need for strong partnerships and decisive action from all tourist stakeholders in accordance with the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda.